Live from Waterford and Dungarvan, this is Waterford at 1 News.
Good afternoon, I'm Sinead. Aherne. Today's top stories: a man in his 70s was killed in a crash in Carrick-on-Shore yesterday has been named locally as Patrick Holland from Cappoquin. There's no change in the number of cases of COVID-19 at University Hospital Waterford. Spree have announced that this year's festival will take place in Waterford in September. And in sport, Manchester United midfielder Nemanja Matic has signed a new 3-year contract with the club. Tributes are being paid to Patrick Holland from Cappoquin in County Waterford, who was killed in a 3-car crash in Carrick-on-Shore yesterday. Mr Holland, who was in his 70s, was a front seat passenger in one of the cars, which collided at South Lodge in Carrick-on-Shore at around 6:50am. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A male driver in his 30s was arrested at the scene of the accident. Meanwhile, a man in his 20s, who was the passenger in another car, was taken to St Luke's General Hospital, where he's understood to have been in a critical condition last night. Labour councillor John Pratt says he knew the deceased man and his family.
I would do. Look, Patrick, or Bella as they used to know him, is actually originally from Tallow. He would have lived in Convent Street in Tallow. My deep sympathies to his wife Georgina, sisters Kay and Anne, his daughter Bonnie and Danielle. You know, he was just a real nice, good guy. It's a real tough time now for any family, you know, to have to go through.
There's no change in the number of coronavirus cases at University Hospital Waterford. The hospital is treating 2 positive patients for more than a week. That's according to the HSE's daily operations update. A further 2 patients were awaiting the results of COVID testing last night. Outdoor seating areas should be considered as a long-term option for cafes, bars and restaurants in Waterford. That's according to Fianna Fáil councillor Adam Wise. 17 businesses across Waterford made applications last month for financial assistance under the Outdoor Street Furniture Scheme. It's in a bid to ensure social distancing guidelines can be adhered to. Adam Wise says Waterford has some ideal locations for outdoor seating.
Businesses and the council should continue and probably should have been doing a lot sooner. Now look, the problem with Ireland is we don't obviously always get the best weather. But in areas like, say, the Apple Market, where we've put a huge investment in to actually roof that area of the city, it's a perfect and ideal location there where you're not on the main road, but just directly underneath the roof where there is open space. In Grant and Dungarvan, I know a lot of businesses up there have done that already, and it's proven really popular.
There are calls for Gardaí to be given the power to immediately shut down a business that's ignoring public health guidelines. It's after hundreds of people gathered outside pubs in Dublin city centre to drink on Saturday night. A DJ entertained the crowd as takeaway pints and drink bought from off licences was consumed. CEO of the Restaurants Association, Adrian Cummins, says both pubs and the government need to act.
They need to look at their business model, just make sure that they're doing the right thing, they're adhering to the guidelines, and I'm also appealing to the government that they need to give the power to officers that can inspect and go in. And if they see there is a threat to the public health, they need to be able to say that they close that premises down.
However, Waterford publican Jim Flash Gordon says that most customers here are compliant and quickly adapting to a new pub experience.
What's working really well for us is Jordan Casey from Scene developed a table pay app, and customers are getting a real kick on ordering food and drinks on the app. There's no going to the bar, there's no waiting for a waiter, all this kind of crap. And we're quite shocked at that. The customers have adapted to it so fast. Unfortunately, we don't have regular pub times yet, so we call time every night at 9 p.m. We just give people 5-minute warning, we're closing at 9 p.m. It's a different kind of reality for us.
Cabinet ministers are expected to delay the opening of travel holidays until July 20th. Ministers will meet this afternoon and are unlikely to recommend the unwinding of aviation restrictions. Our political correspondent Sean Defoe reports.
The government had said it would publish a green list of countries safe to fly to from July 9th. That's now been kicked back until July 20th as the coronavirus has seen a second wave in countries that would have been considered safe to fly to only a few weeks ago. The government's also placing a priority on getting the schools fully open by September and is reluctant to make any decision that would risk that. Taoiseach Micheál Martin told Red FM.
What is our overarching objective for the next 6 weeks? I want to get the schools open. I want to get as many children back in school as possible in the end of August.
Yesterday, Transport Minister Eamon Ryan suggested the list would be a moving document, with countries being added or taken off as the medical situation changes. That poses difficulties for those trying to book holidays. A country may be on the green list when you leave, but removed by the time you get back. The delay will likely provoke further attack from airlines airlines, with Ryanair in particular criticising the government's cautious approach. The Cabinet's also expected to take stock of the current status of restrictions and the impact the reopening of much of the economy last week is having on the spread of the coronavirus.
A Waterford woman fears she could lose more than €2,000 she spent on a flight to Portugal. Linda Kelly was due to fly to Faro on Saturday with Ryanair. However, her father's health problems meant her family couldn't go. She spoke to Damien Tiernan on Daysha today.
I was hoping that the flight would be cancelled, but obviously it wasn't, and I was getting more anxious when I was hearing my friends. They were due to go away in August and all their flights were cancelled. So I kind of took it that it wasn't going to be cancelled. So my dad had just a regular checkup and he was basically told that no way is he to travel.
She says she was ringing and emailing Ryanair
4 times over the last 4 weeks. Last week now it was 3 times, but I was emailing them over and back. So the first medical cert I uploaded was 3 weeks ago, and they sent back stating that the medical cert wasn't basically good enough, that I needed to elaborate on it more. So the doctor was amazing. He went straight into it, and with Dad's illness he outlined everything and sent it on, and I haven't heard one word.
The Agriculture Minister is facing calls to step down just 8 days into the role. It's after Barry Cowan drove for years unaccompanied on a learner permit and was caught drink driving. Ben Finnegan reports.
Barry Cowan was driving on a learner permit in 2016. Came to light after he was caught drink driving while travelling from Dublin to Offaly. He has since apologised, saying he is humiliated and embarrassed. However, the Irish Road Victims Association say the apology doesn't go far enough. Founder Donna Price says he should resign.
I think his position is untenable. Much as I don't like to kick somebody when they're down and when they have made an apology, really it goes further than that. And as I said, it shows a complete disregard for other road users.
The Taoiseach believes Minister Cowan shouldn't be punished for something that happened years ago. Speaking to Red FM, Micheál Martin says he accepts his apology.
Are you going to condemn someone forever for the rest of their lives for something that might have happened 4 years ago or 5 years ago? I think there was an issue of proportionality in that regard.
It's expected Minister Cowan will make a statement to the Dáil later this week.
Spree have announced that this year's festival will take place in Waterford in September. The International Street Arts Festival had to cancel its traditional August Bank Holiday weekend event due to COVID-19 restrictions. It's the first time in 26 years that the Spree Festival won't take place here in August. However, Spree Time 2020 will present an array of performances and installations to give audiences a new experience of Waterford at night. It'll take place from September 4th to 13th each evening between 8:30pm and 10:30pm. Director of Waterford Spree is TV Honan.
We're going to try and get a series of events on from the 4th to the 13th of September, and we'll be operating in the evening times only. I think our idea really is to enable social spacing. We're going to put a series of fixed attractions and installations in the city centre so that people can come, stroll the streets of their own city at night and hopefully see some things that will kind of amuse them.
He says the artistic installations will be at John Roberts Square, Georgia Street and Arundel Square.
We've gotten Spree Studios up and working again over the last 4 weeks. Thankfully, we're working safely here. So, for example, instead of working on the annual parade, which we can't do this year because we just can't socially space an audience of that size, we're working on fixed pieces. In Arundel Square, we're calling it Area 051. And it's a bit of fun around science fiction and spaceship. People will be able to walk around the pieces.
Sports News on WLR.
With Virgin Media Waterford. Want super fast broadband today? Drop into Virgin Media Georgia Street and take it home with you. Easy as that.
And a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I'm Nigel Kelly, starting with the Premier League, where Man United midfielder Nemanja Matic has signed a new 3-year contract with the Premier League club. The deal will keep the 31-year-old Serbian international at Old Trafford until 2023. Matic joined United from Chelsea in 2017 and has made 114 appearances for the Red Devils. United boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said that Matic's experience and professionalism will be invaluable to the young players coming through at the club. And former Republic of Ireland manager Brian Kerr thinks the Norwegian deserves praise for the job he is doing with United.
I think Solskjaer has done a good job, and he's building a team. I I'd say astutely and solidly at the moment that he deserves time to pursue the direction he's going in at the moment.
There's one Premier League match taking place tonight as Tottenham host Everton at 8 o'clock. Tottenham manager Jose Mourinho has joked he might find it hard to follow social distancing rules during the Premier League match. Spurs welcome Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side to North London, and Mourinho says he can't wait to see his old friend.
He's one of the top managers in the world of the last 2 decades. As a person, I just love Carlo. I think I'm going to break the rules. Now is 1 meter, no? 1 meter distance. I'm going to break the rules and I'm going to hug him because I like Carlo very much.
Moving to the Scottish Premiership, where the champion Celtic will start their defence at home to Hamilton on Sunday the 2nd of August. Neil Lennon's side are chasing a record 10th straight league crown. The season commences the day before, with Aberdeen hosting Rangers in one of 4 fixtures on the Saturday. And in rugby, there are reports that the number of replacements in rugby union could be reduced. The Times says support is building for a change to the number of replacements from 8 to either 5 or 6. And World Rugby chairman Bill Beaumont said he wants to push ahead with trials of a reduced number of replacements. Sports news on WLR is thanks to Virgin Media Waterford.